Depression is more common than you might think. An estimated 19 million Americans suffer from it. Depression is described as a state of low mood, an aversion to activity or apathy that can affect a person's thoughts, behaviors, feelings, and sense of well-being. Sometimes a person suffering from depression can go into such a bad state that it's debilitating, which is why if you're diagnosed with depression, it's very important you stay on your medication. It's important that if you're feeling depressed that you talk to someone about it, so you can be directed on a healing path. The earlier you can detect it, the less advanced it will become, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hey YouTube, I'm Court McGinley and welcome back to the most amazing top 5. Sit back, subscribe, and let me entertain you. Before we get started on this list, I want to know, what's the best memory that you have? Let me know your answer down in the comments. Alright, let's get started on this list of the top 5 ways to tell you're depressed. But first thing is first, I want to make it clear that if you're experiencing something on this list, that doesn't necessarily mean you have depression. You might just be having a bad day, or it might just be something that you do to cope. So I just want to make that clear. Okay, so in our number 5 spot we have an increase in drinking. So instead of having the occasional drink with dinner, you all of a sudden are up to 2 or 3 a night. It's a known fact that alcohol is the most common tactic people use to self-medicate. It's easily accessible, and if a large enough amount is consumed, it numbs you. The only problem is that it isn't a permanent fix, and you're going to wake up in even more pain. And if this is a constant, then there's a chance you could become an alcoholic, and then there's 2 problems to deal with instead of just 1. So if you find yourself night after night consuming more alcohol than you used to, then you should ask yourself why, and get down to the real reason why you're drinking so much. And at number 4, you feel nothing. Before getting depression, you could be stuck in a state where you don't allow yourself to feel any pain. Rather than be sad, you decide to forego feelings altogether. This is the point where you need to talk to someone and seek help, because the more you keep everything in and try to push down your feelings, the bigger the repercussions will be when they do surface. This will also most likely give you anxiety, and it will cause you to alienate those around you who love you and care for you. At number 3, you can't stop socializing. Now this one is on the opposite side of the spectrum from number 4. Sometimes people who are depressed will stretch themselves so thin with all of the stuff they're doing in an attempt to distract themselves from their feelings. Now that's not to say if you're social then you're depressed. Some people just really like company and they don't like being alone. However, if the reason you are keeping busy and are always out and about is to keep you from wrestling with your thoughts and feelings, then that's when it's not such a good thing. You can attempt to distract yourself all you want, but the whole time you're gonna have this dark cloud just looming over your head. So again, if this is the case, you need to speak up. Coming in our number 2 spot, you have trouble accepting praise or goodwill. If you find yourself brushing off people who are complimenting or congratulating you on a job well done, then there's a good chance you feel you're not worthy of being told you are doing something positive, which again doesn't necessarily mean you're depressed. It could just mean you truly don't think you did a good enough job. But if this is something that's constantly happening again and again, and you feel like nothing you ever do is good enough, then that might be a sign to talk to a professional. This could also mean that you have low self-esteem, which sometimes over time can evolve into depression. Coming in our number 1 spot, constant negative feelings. Depression takes a toll on you physically, mentally, and emotionally. If you're depressed and not seeing anyone or treating it, then you're usually in constant pain for long spurts of time. You could be feeling sad or hopeless, like nothing you can do will make things better. You can lose interest in most activities that you used to enjoy. Things that you used to do at school, work, or home are now difficult. You could have overwhelming feelings of guilt or worthlessness. Again, all of these things could be attributed to having a bad day, but deep down, you'll know. Finally, there's thoughts of death or taking your own life. If it comes to this point, then you need to talk to either a parent or a friend, and if you think that they will not understand, then you can always call someone online. They're not going to judge you, and they are there to help and talk you out of this negative state of mind. If you do want to talk to someone, you can call the National Suicide Hotline, which is available 24 hours each day, 7 days a week. There are operators trained to talk about ways of coming back down from committing suicide. The number is 1-800-273-8255. Well, there you guys have it. That is a list of the top 5 ways to tell you're depressed. If this list left you at all confused, then you can go online and they have self-tests that you can take that's called depression tests, and it just kind of lets you know where you're at. If you think that you might be suffering from depression, then just know that you are not alone, and there are so many people out there that are able to help you. And just know that it does get better, and this is not something that needs to consume your life if you don't allow it to. I want to thank you guys all for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.